Thank you for joining us on Coeur de la Passion, Heart of the Passion. I am Christelie Vedel, and tonight we're going to discover a new passion. My guest tonight is Rick Nieves. He's an adventurer, passionate about waterfalls. He already visited 509 waterfalls in 28 states, including California. Thank you for being here tonight, taking your time, sharing your beautiful stories behind this secret about waterfalls.
My pleasure.
You're welcome. So first, tell us how this is started. This little, this light starts, sparks.
Well, I went to a waterfall in Kentucky with my brother's girlfriend, and it was Cumberland Falls in Kentucky, and it was a beautiful waterfall, and I thought just being there, it's soothing. It's the water is beautiful and the sound and everything. So I said, I think I'll start seeing some more of these, and so pretty much that's when it started.
When was that?
That was in 2002.
2002.
Yeah.
So since you just passionate and go discover this treasure, can say, because this
Yes.
is very specific and it's magical too.
Well, after I went
yes.
to the first one, then I just wanted to go and see the next one and the next one and the next one, and I didn't want to wait 6 months or 8 months, another month, another week, and so they started coming pretty quick.
Then you didn't stop. Since
No.
then, that's what you're doing?
Yes.
And you're continuing to do it?
Yes.
509?
Yes.
Yes, that's quite a number. I mean, you need to find the time for that. And thank you for being here and inspiring all of us for this passion you have, because it takes time. And to understand that even in your busy life, you can find the time when you really love your passion.
Yes, absolutely. Mostly on weekends where you can get away for a week. That's when I see the California ones, but then the other states is when I take my week's vacation each year. I usually at least 2 weeks a year I try to go somewhere far away.
Wow, so you are already a lover of waterfalls.
Yes.
So let's see, you have videos.
Yes.
I know you couldn't bring 500 something videos, but at least we selected 10,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And if we have a time depending, we have some pictures. So let's start about the first video. So what's the first waterfalls we're going to see?
The first waterfall is Bridalveil Falls in Yosemite National Park.
Okay.
It is approximately 620 feet high, and you can see it from when you come into Yosemite, when you go down into the valley, it's one of the first ones that you see.
Wow, so it's not too far. I mean, I don't know really the area, but this is close
Yes.
in California?
Yes.
Okay.
From here in Mountain View, it's probably about 4 hours.
Oh, okay. Wow. And when you see that, then you have your video all the time with you, and you take pictures, video,
Pictures and video.
and videos.
Sometimes I forget my video camera.
Oh, so what do you do?
I don't have video.
Okay.
Sometimes I go back, depending on the waterfall.
Oh, you go back. That's very attractive. So yes, so I see you have the different states. I know we cannot maybe name the 27. The 28 is California. So what are the other states?
Oregon, Washington, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, Nebraska, Illinois, Indiana, North Carolina, South Carolina,
Wow.
Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, Florida, Arizona,
Wow, you're already taking
New
a risk and
Mexico,
go travel there. All
Nevada.
these places.
California, Idaho. I'm not sure if I left any out.
Wow, that's amazing. And then each waterfall you go, there is a story behind, right?
Oh yeah, some waterfalls are easy to find. They're right off the highway, but other ones you have to take dirt roads and unnamed roads, and some are kind of difficult to find.
Oh, so how do you find them?
I-
Where do you go? Do you go first on map and?
Well, I go on the internet, and I also have books for reference on how to find them.
Okay. So that's interesting. Yeah. So let's see the other video. The what is the next one?
Next
You
one
know
is
your waterfall by heart, if we can say, right?
Cascade Falls in Illinois is the next one.
Cascade.
Yes.
That's different. Then we can see each waterfall is different. They have a different.
Yeah, they're different heights, different sizes.
Yes.
Some are what they call horsetail, where it looks like a horsetail. Bridal Veil is the most popular named waterfall. It's in almost every state, and they fan out like the veil on a bride's gown.
Okay. So and this one then.
This particular one is in a canyon.
Okay. Yes.
And this was one of the easier ones to find. It was right off of Highway 80 in Illinois.
Then you have to look
It was
around.
raining too. You can tell on this particular day it was raining.
Yes, we can tell. Yes. So they have all this different aspect or design, I would say. You know,
Right.
they're all different. And waterfalls, we see water, you know, falling, but it's so alive, magical, and powerful. So so here it's a canyon, so it's all around the rocks.
Right.
Then I understand also you have other waterfalls, harder, challenging to find behind like trees or the mountains or the hills, right?
And they all have 99% of them. There's a trail that leads to them.
A trail.
Yes. So you follow the trail, and sometimes you just have to listen to hear the waterfall because they don't have signs that say this waterfall is here.
Yes.
You just have to listen until you hear it, or the directions tell you it's approximately a mile, and you guess about a mile, and then you start listening. But you hear the waterfall when you get close.
So you go by the sound.
Yes.
Are they all a different sound?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
There are some, like the first one that we saw.
Yeah.
Bridal Veil is, when you get close to that, that's very loud.
Oh wow.
That's a waterfall that you can walk right up to also.
Oh.
Some you can't get real close to. They're across a canyon or something. But most of them you can get right up to. Some of them you can stand underneath.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So let's see the next one.
The next one is Fort Falls in Nebraska. And this one is actually was my 500th waterfall, which was my goal when I set out. And I didn't think that I would do it so quick. And you can see the snow.
Yes.
This was just this past April.
There's snow.
Yes.
Oh yes, it's different now. Different design too.
And most of your waterfalls are on creeks. The bigger ones, the larger ones are on rivers. But the smaller ones, and some of the big ones are on creeks also, but most of them come from a creek.
And here, this is the trail you can take.
Yes,
We saw.
and they even have steps and everything for this
Steps?
one.
So people go there, they want to visit, and they can enjoy these beautiful waterfalls, right?
Right. Some of them they put benches there where you can sit down and just enjoy it.
Yes. How is this one big? What is that? You know, some that comes from higher, some that
Right.
comes from.
This one is
So-
45 foot high.
Okay. Yes, that's something. It's going and wherever it goes, it's like looking for freedom.
In the summertime, a lot of times you'll see people go out there in the water,
In the water. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
especially the ones that drop down.
Have you been there in the water?
Yes,
Okay.
several times.
Was it cold at that time?
Not this one.
No, this one.
It was very cold when I was there.
Wow. Okay. And then you have all these waterfalls.
Yes.
Do you have a specific categories or favorite you like, or how do you classify them? How do you, you know?
It's hard to pick a favorite waterfall when you've seen as many as I have. I mean, there's favorites that people come from all over to see, like Niagara Falls, of course.
Yes.
But it's when
popular
you've seen
one.
as many as I have, there's so many beautiful waterfalls. It's really hard to say that's my favorite.
Oh, Really?
Yes.
So you love all of them?
There are a few that, you know, stand out, like Alamere Falls in California, which is one of the few waterfalls that goes out onto the beach.
Yes.
And you can go down onto the beach and look up at it.
Oh, that's a different angle.
Yes.
Then the next state.
The
So
next
all these
one-
10 videos we have is a different state, or maybe another. Oh, I see here you have. What's the next one? I'll let you do that because
The
you are
next
the
one
expert.
is High Falls of Pigeon River. And this is in
Pigeon River?
Minnesota.
Oh, this is more a powerful one.
And it was raining this day too. This is right on the Minnesota Canadian border. They actually say that the one on the right is in Canada.
The one on the right.
The one on
is
the
Canada?
left portion is in the United States.
Oh, that's interesting. So two waterfalls meeting each other from different countries.
Right.
That's beautiful. You can see some different color here on this one.
And this one is 120 feet high.
120 feet high. So you see there's kind of yellow.
And there are times when the water, when it's low, that people will go out into that water, but they do have signs there that you're not supposed to.
Oh,
But people do.
they trespassing.
Kind of.
Is it dangerous?
Waterfalls can be dangerous. Just recently, some people died at Yosemite in a waterfall because they didn't heed the warnings to stay away, and they got too close, and it's really slippery because it's wet, and sometimes you have moss and stuff that it gets really slippery, and one person slipped, the other person tried to help them, they slipped, and the other person tried to help them, and they also slipped.
Oh, so they just drown, and is it the power of the water was so strong?
Well, plus it's in some waterfalls it's just rock right around it, and it's real slick. So there's really, if you do slip, there's nothing to grab onto.
Oh, okay. You cannot hold on.
No,
anything
there's
you
no
have in
tree or
your
bush or
grip.
anything to grab onto. You just slide right down.
Wow, yeah, that's
So
dangerous.
there is danger if you get too close to some waterfalls.
So we recommend.
And
to
they have
follow-
signs that say, danger, stay back.
Then we recommend to follow this sign.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yes. Thank you. So and let's continue the next one.
The next one is Kings Canyon Falls, and that's in Nevada. It's the only waterfall that I was able to find in northern Nevada.
Really?
Looking
Is
on
it
the
rare?
internet. Well, Nevada, it's rare to find a waterfall in Nevada, yes. Like I said, that was the only one I could find in the northern part.
Is that because of the weather? It's so hot, or what part
Because
of Nevada is it?
It's because they don't have a lot of rivers and creeks that run.
This one,
This one is 25 feet high.
Okay, we see it's a smaller one, right?
It's just outside of, or actually in the city of Carson, Nevada. So it's not far from Reno and Tahoe.
Oh, it's some waterfall, huh?
Yeah. This was also in April of this year, and it was cold.
It was cold?
There was snow out there. There wasn't snow by this one, but there was quite a bit of snow in Nevada this past April.
It's somehow powerful. They're all powerful in a different degree.
Yes.
But, you know, that's there. It's alive. It's a part of the nature. It's magical, right?
Right. And they dry up too. By July, August, this one will hardly have any water.
For how
So you
long?
have to get there at a certain time of the year for some waterfalls. Some are year-round, but some are seasonal.
Seasonal.
This is a seasonal.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the summer, then you're not going to have any.
Right.
You come back. the next season.
Even large waterfalls like Yosemite Falls dry up.
Oh, interesting. Yes. We would think that it stayed there.
Right.
You know.
Especially when you see so much water coming out, you think that it's never ending, but it does.
Yes.
Most of them do dry up.
Yes. So what's the next one?
The next waterfall is Majestic Falls,
State. Majestic.
and
Which
it's in
state is that?
Oregon,
Oregon.
and it's 34 feet high. Most of the Oregon waterfalls are year-round.
A year round. Oh,
Oregon
okay.
is a very wet state. In fact, it is my favorite state for waterfalls.
It looks greener.
Oh yeah, very green. Everywhere you go, it's green. They have the high desert, and then you go down to where it's really green. But even up in the high desert, it's very green.
Really? Yes, we can tell.
This is all the way up. That was all the way up in northern Oregon, up by the Washington border.
So it's a cold weather. Then that's explain how they stay all year, right?
Well, it's because they get a lot of rain. Oregon and Washington get a lot of rain, so most of their waterfalls are year-round.
Okay. Yes, that's good to know.
So the next waterfall that we're going to see is Minneopa Falls, which is also in Minnesota.
Also Minnesota. Okay.
This is the lower. This is two waterfalls for the price of one here.
Two waterfalls here.
Yeah.
Where do you see the two?
Well, the other one is behind it, which will come
behind
next.
the bridge.
Yes, it comes next. This is the lower part, which is the larger of the two.
Okay, it's larger but it's shorter, right?
No.
So how many feet? So how do you Oh no, it's powerful here. We see it just reaching the river.
The lower part is 39 foot high.
39 foot high. And is there, when each time you go visit, you have a story there, something happened, or to remember all these particular, places?
Well, a lot of times I meet people
Yes.
along the way. And this particular one, I actually met a woman who was taking pictures, and she had just bought a new camera, and she was asking me if I knew how to, you know how sometimes you look at a waterfall picture and it looks like a painting?
Yes.
Well, she was asking me if I knew how to do that because she didn't know how to do that. So I showed her on the camera, what setting to use and everything. After I was finished, she then took me in the car to a waterfall that had just opened up in Minnesota that was, I would have never found it myself because of all the different roads I had to take to get there. But
Yes.
That was one that wasn't on my list that she took me to that I couldn't even tell you the name because in Minnesota they have some long names of waterfalls. So I
Yes.
honestly couldn't remember the name of it, but it was a very nice one. It was probably about 50 foot.
Wow, then meeting people, you discover new
Right.
places and locations for waterfalls.
And they talk about the waterfalls they've been to. And
So you meet all these people there and they are passionate about waterfalls?
right. I've had people ask me, well, what is it about a waterfall
Yes.
that you like? And
Yes.
because some people have said that the ions in the water or something makes you feel good. And for me, it's the whole adventure. It's picking a waterfall,
Yes.
getting the directions,
Yes.
and then finding it.
Oh.
And the bonus is when you actually find it and you get to be there in front of it. That's the most enjoyable part.
Oh, that's the prize.
That's the prize, yes.
Yeah, that's precious.
Mm-hmm.
I really understand that how you are really passionate about it,
Well,
the way you even talk about it.
Some of the waterfalls you can actually feel. The water comes down so hard that you can feel the thunder in the
Wow.
ground.
So there's also emotion in it.
Right.
So
There's the
it's-
spray, so you can feel the wetness in the air, and then you can feel the thunder of that waterfall in the ground as you're walking up to it.
So they have some spirits.
Absolutely.
So what is the next one we
think
can
that-
see?
I think that the next one is the upper part.
Let's see. I know you recognize all of them anyway.
This is the upper Minneopa. This is the one that was behind the lower
Oh, that's
one.
the one was behind. That's the second one.
Right. And there's a bridge that goes across. And actually on this day,
Yes. Did you fall
another rare
on the
thing.
bridge?
No. Another rare thing in waterfalls is to get a rainbow.
A rainbow.
Because the sun has to be just in the right spot, and there has to be mist coming off of it, and it has to hit it at just the right angle for a rainbow. And actually on this one, I did get some rainbow on the lower, standing on the bridge, looking over the lower one.
This one looks like a thunder.
Yeah.
Well, it's very fast. They have a specific speed too, you know?
Yeah, this was in July. So actually, I didn't think there would be that much water because it was pretty hot in July. It was 90, 95 degrees out there, but I thought that some of the waterfalls that I would go to would be dried up or
Yes.
not much water because it was summertime. But actually, all but one had quite a bit of water.
This past July?
No, this was last year. Last July.
Year?
Yes, on
Yes.
4th of July weekend.
For a summer season, they want to, be there and be a part of the life.
They actually had fireworks by one of the waterfalls.
Really?
Yes, I wasn't able to make it
Oh,
back.
it must be beautiful.
Yes.
That's really beautiful. That's fascinating. Next time I go visit a waterfall, I'll think about you.
Well, there are plenty. There's even waterfalls in San Jose, which a lot of people don't realize.
Yes, San Jose. Yes, we wouldn't think there is waterfalls around us.
Right.
And
especially
it's so
in San Jose,
close.
because usually a lot of people think that waterfalls come from, you have to have mountains, but you don't always have to have mountains. Sometimes the ground just drops
Yes.
from the water.
Yes.
Like a river can run and then all of a sudden it'll drop and there's no mountain around it. Majority of the waterfalls do come from hills and mountains, but not always.
So waterfalls in San Jose. Have you visited them?
Yes.
So how many did you visit? Is it
Well,
how many
it's
around us?
It's a little waterfall park, and it has six waterfalls in the park,
Yes.
and then there's another one further back that you have to hike a little further back to.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think the next waterfall that we're going to see is Ramsey Falls,
Ramsey,
which is also in Minnesota,
Minnesota.
and it is 45 feet tall.
Yeah, that's a high level. We see there's a river behind it.
Well,
That's where it comes from.
it's actually a creek.
A creek.
Yes, a lot of creeks flow just like rivers, and they come from snow melt or from they're tributaries of a river.
Yeah. And it goes down a creek again, or a river also.
Sometimes it just ends like at a lake.
A lake.
Yeah. And this particular one is one that you can't get real close to. As you can see, it's just rock right around it.
Oh yeah, you cannot go there, huh?
So from the other side, it's as close as you can get to this one.
Can you go behind the waterfall?
Sometimes.
Yes. Have you been there?
Sometimes you can walk right across. Sometimes it looks like a lot of water,
Yes.
but when you're up above there, you can walk right across it. Sometimes it's only like that deep.
Wow. What's the impression that you feel at that moment?
Scary.
Really?
Well, especially because you never really want to just step in there, even if it looks like it's only that deep, because sometimes the water's coming through so fast that it can take your feet right out from underneath you and you can go right across.
Whoa. So you have to hold somewhere or a rock, or is there some place where they just set up where people can visit and go and hold I don't know.
Well, some waterfalls,
A
they
barrier or
do
something?
have barriers. Some
Barriers?
They have
Okay.
handrails, and some of them
Okay.
have wooden structures around them for you to view the waterfall.
Okay.
That's what it's usually like when you get to the more dangerous ones. They try to keep you from getting too close because of the danger.
Well, yes, it's dangerous, I understand, but when they have these, they have some like this protected when they have the barrier and all that.
Right.
So it's protected, then you can go.
Right.
Of course, you always have to be very careful.
Absolutely.
Where you put your feet and your hand, where you're going. When you go there, you must be all wet, totally out there. And
Sometimes, a lot of times it's raining. And you got to go through the rain, and sometimes it's a nice clear sky, but there are waterfalls where a lot of mist comes off of them.
Yes.
And those you can get soaked.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Do you have another video? I don't know how many video we watched so far.
I believe Rifle Falls is the next video. I believe this is in
This one?
yes,
Is
in
this one?
Colorado. about in the middle of the state between Denver and the western border.
So here we see a few. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have a little one, very, thin.
And this happens over the course of years. At one time, it was just all one waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
But as summertime comes and less water comes, it starts to cut little channels down the side of the rock. So that's why you get split ones like this.
Okay, that's what you call them, like they separate different little channels.
That's what I would call them.
I mean, yes. Yes, so that's interesting. That also it's a different view.
Right.
Yes.
And it's all from how they flow, and depending on what time of the year you go. Sometimes you can see they split off like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can come back in the springtime and it's just gushing, and the whole thing is covered.
Wow.
So it just depends on the time of the year that you go to the waterfall.
So then, you know what? I want to hear the story about the last you went to visit, Yosemite. Tell me if I pronounce right, in California, the waterfall you visit and you had a little incident.
Oh, well, some of the waterfalls I go to don't have names.
Mm-hmm.
I just happen to find them. And south of Yosemite, it's wide open. And I was driving around, just looking around, and as I came around this one bend, I saw this waterfall that came all the way down the side of the mountain, and there had to be 25 waterfalls coming down the side of the mountain. It's not a named one. It's not one that there are trails to. So you won't find it in a book or anything. I just happened to get lucky and pass upon it. And last year I found another one similar to that. And that one I actually went up the side of the mountain as far as I could, probably past about 15 different waterfalls.
So it's not, I seen an incident, but there's no incident there, right?
Right.
You just go directly because your heart is there and want to just discover something new, because it's so spectacular. I understand. Mm-hmm. It's very spectacular, and I really thank you for inspiring us and showing us these videos and sharing these beautiful stories and waterfalls and this aliveness and light. And that's just beautiful. There is no word to describe it. That's amazing.
Amazing is a good word.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for our guest, Rick Nieves. Thank you for all of you watching Coeur de la Passion. Thank you for the crew. It's wonderful to have all this set up, and we see you next time. Thank you. Thank you.